Hey guys, it's Phoebe with WatchMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst villain plans.
Oh, I'm sorry about the door. Is the party over?
We're taking a look at the dumbest villain plans in movies. These plans can be ill thought out, doomed to fail, or just plain nonsensical. Let's get to it. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below. Number 10. Destroying the Korean Demilitarized Zone. Die Another Day. This is certainly one of the most over-the-top Bond films out there, and that's saying something. You've got invisible cars, Bond surfing a tidal wave, DNA replacement therapy, and of course, a massive satellite that can shoot beams of solar energy at the Earth.
The Western spy runs, but he cannot hide.
The main villain, Gustav Graves, plans to shoot this solar energy at the Korean Demilitarized Zone in hopes of allowing North Korea to invade South Korea. What a horrible, horrible idea. For one thing, what's guaranteeing the North's success in this invasion?
And if the North goes south, they're gonna go south big time. You don't just stroll through the world's biggest minefield.
And surely South Korea's allies would immediately come to their rescue. Graves' father tries to tell him that his brilliant plan will only result in a devastating nuclear war, but of course, Graves doesn't listen. Number 9. Ending the food supply. Blade. Blade is a great vampire novel, but it has one really short-sighted villain in Deacon Frost. Dare we even say stupid? So Deacon's big plan is to turn everyone on Earth into vampires.
He's a hurricane, an act of God. Anyone caught in his path will instantly be turned.
That's certainly a scary threat, and it makes for a suitably apocalyptic story. But if all the humans on Earth were turned into vampires, what would the vampires eat?
For f***'s sake, these people are our food.
And yeah, maybe he planned on keeping bags of blood or humans in cold storage, but that limited supply would run out eventually. Isn't Deacon just ensuring the extinction of his own race with this inane plan? Number 8. Starting World War III. X-Men First Class. Plans that begin with "let's start a nuclear war" are never well thought out. Sebastian Shaw's maniacal proposal is to instigate a nuclear war between the United States and Russia so the mutants can rule the world.
I don't ask for favors, Colonel. I express my expectations. So, let me say it again. I expect you'll reconsider.
There are just so many things wrong with this, we don't even know where to start. Wouldn't a nuclear war also kill the mutants? Even if they're immune to radiation, they probably aren't immune to nuclear vaporization.
The Soviet Union reacted by terming it a step along the road to unleashing a thermonuclear war.
And say he was successful and the mutants lived. So what? They would reign over a nuclear wasteland, be forced to live through a nuclear winter, and would be cut off from most food supplies. Talk about perplexing.
Well, I guess we're done here. Let's wrap things up, shall we?
Number 7. The Triwizard Tournament. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Voldemort needs to kidnap Harry and steal some of his blood. So they get Barty Crouch Jr., kidnap Mad-Eye Moody, brew a year's supply of Polyjuice Potion, have Crouch infiltrate Hogwarts, teach Dada for a year, manipulate the goblet, push Harry in the right direction throughout the tournament, and turn the trophy into a portkey.
Together! 1, 2, 3!
Wow, why not just enchant a pen or something? Maybe a hairbrush? Or how about a different and easier impersonation for Barty? It just doesn't make a lot of sense as a nefarious plot. This whole extended contrivance just seems like a whole lot of effort for not very much.
Yes, myself. Disappointed.
Number 6. Having your wife kidnapped. Fargo. Jerry Lundegaard needs a substantial amount of money, so he orchestrates to have his own wife kidnapped.
You want your own wife kidnapped?
Yeah.
The plan is to get his rich father-in-law to pay the ransom, and he'll give some to the kidnappers while keeping the rest. It's a horribly stupid and incredibly dangerous plan, and it goes about as well as you'd expect. there are also numerous warning bells that Jerry ignores, like the fact that his criminal connection brings along an unidentified companion who isn't properly vetted or vouched for.
Yeah, well, he had a buddy there. He,
I don't vouch for him.
Well, that's okay.
I vouch for Grimsrud. Who's his buddy?
Carl something.
Never heard of him, don't vouch for him.
Sure enough, said companion blows the entire operation, out of sheer stupidity and carelessness. These guys make for hilariously terrible criminals, but then again, that's kind of the point.
Put that back in your pocket, please. And step out of the car, please, sir.
Number 5, Freezing the World, Batman and Robin. Man, the Batman movies really went off the rails. First was Batman Forever, which saw the Riddler making himself smarter with, brain waves and so forth.
So, Mr. Enigma, what's on your mind?
Precisely. What's on all our minds? Brainwaves.
And then there was the wildly infamous Batman and Robin. This movie squandered 2 fantastic villains in Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, with groan-worthy one-liners and laughable motivations.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Freeze was going to cover the world in ice because he was mad about his dying wife? Why? And Ivy was going to repopulate it with mutant plants? Again, why? To rule together as Adam and Evil, as Freeze embarrassingly calls them?
The only 2 people left in the world.
Yes. Adam and Evil.
Yes.
But there'd be no one to rule, and these 2 have very different motivations. This movie is legendarily silly.
Revenge!
Number 4, Gruber's Escape Plan, Die Hard. Most people praise the writing and performance behind Hans Gruber. He was certainly a different kind of action movie villain. Stylish, cultured, and wickedly intelligent. Well, maybe not so much of that last one.
Due to the Nakatomi Corporation's legacy of greed around the globe, they are about to be taught a lesson in the real use of power. You will be witnesses.
What on earth was his escape plan? First off, was he hoping on stuffing all his henchmen and the numerous duffel bags of bearer bonds in that tiny little ambulance?
Arm. The truck. Truck.
And even if some henchmen had accidents, they're still leaving behind an empty vault. Surely when the authorities investigate the building and find an empty vault, they'll immediately suspect Hans and his team, especially if there are no bodies or proof that they died in the explosion. Number 3, Green Goblin and Spidey teaming up. Spider-Man. In the middle of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the Green Goblin kidnaps Spidey and proposes that they team up.
Join me. Imagine what we could accomplish together. What we could create.
The way he sees it, they form an alliance and create things together, or keep battling and kill innocent civilians in the process.
Think about it, hero!
But what exactly does he plan on creating? What does he hope to accomplish with Spider-Man? Some type of dictatorial power? Destroying New York? And even if they succeeded, surely the authorities would have something to say about it. Spider-Man and Goblin are exceptional men, but men nonetheless. In a battle between them and the United States Army, our money's on the latter.
No one says no to me!
Number 2, UK versus China. Tomorrow Never Dies. Bond villains always have big plans. As noted, Gustav wants to destroy the Demilitarized Zone, and Goldfinger wants to irradiate all the gold in Fort Knox, and Elliot Carver wants to start a war between the United Kingdom and China. Why? So his media empire will be granted broadcasting rights for the new government in China.
There's no news. Like bad news.
It's a stupid motivation, but it's even dumber when you think about the implications. Like Gustav, Elliot's entire plan hinders on a predicted outcome, in this case, the British winning the war.
I rather like the last one. It isn't even mine.
And if that fails, also surely the respective countries would call on their allies for aid, and in that case, instigate a potential nuclear war. What good is his media empire in a nuclear wasteland?
Pathetic.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Lex's convoluted plan. Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. The more modern Superman movies don't exactly have the greatest of villains. If Zod's senseless political machinations in Man of Steel weren't weird enough, we also got the complete mess that was Lex Luthor's scheme in Batman vs. Superman.
Ahoy, ahoy! I did not know you were here.
Many things have been written about Luthor's shockingly incoherent plan, like the fact that it's needlessly complex and requires an ungodly amount of luck, from the bomb not being discovered to manipulating the heroes into battling.
And now, you will fly to him, and you will battle him to the death.
It's stupidity in the guise of exalted intellect, and in the end, Lex creates Doomsday to go after Superman. Why not just do that in the first place and be done with it? And hey, Lex, what happens to you if Doomsday wins? Well, I mean, it's no secret that Lex Luthor wasn't exactly the best part of Batman vs. Superman, but what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below or tweet me at Phoebe_WM. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.